Here we go! Everyone loves a bit of history, right? Good, because we're going to follow the path carved by John Holland and his crew through the middle of nowhere, so that people could reach the middle of nowhere. It's called the Holland Track, and we're going to show you the highlights from the historic and four-wheel drive adventure point of view. Before we even hit the trail though, there's so much to be seen near the start of the track at Hyden.
Okay, I'm in Mochas Cave here, and there's a whole bunch of handprints on me behind the wall. And I wanted to tell you a bit about this cave because I reckon it's a really good example of Aboriginal Dreamtime stories and how they relate to sort of real world situations. So Mochas Cave is named after a guy called Malta, and Malta was the illegitimate son of a Aboriginal couple who married outside of Aboriginal law. So Aboriginals had a law about which tribes could marry which people and so on and so forth. Because they broke that law, she gave birth to a son that was extremely tall and strong, but he had cross eyes, so he was absolutely useless at hunting. So he was banished from the camp, and he came to live in Mochas Cave here, and he ate little children. So this is a cave, a story that tells little children not to wander away from camp and disappear in the night, but also serves as a truth that if you marry your cousin, because that's probably who it was, you're going to have inbred children, and that's what the Aboriginal marriage laws were all about. So that's the story of Mochas Cave, and I'll take a few shots of the handprints around in here. I think what I read on the sign, there was 400 and something hand stencils up on the roof and walls, and they did that by getting a mouthful of ochre, just coloured dirt, white or red seems to be the most common, and getting that in their mouth, put their hand up on the wall and go and end up with a big handprint on the wall.
And I'm like 3 foot taller than you.
Yeah, so. Oh, hold on.
I can't see
This trip's going to start out with a cave rescue.
Yeah.
I found a third hole.
Documented cave rescue.
Doves. But it's not just the hand art to get excited about. There's also a rather good hike to the top of the rock with some pretty special views to be seen. Down the road, a wave rock is just as cool. I've stayed here a few times and never get tired of the landscape. This is where we parked up in the Caravan Park for the night, had what would be our final showers for a while, and enjoyed a meal I prepared earlier. Tell us your story of Wave Rock, Jake.
Alright, so one day I thought it was a good idea to surf a volcano, and I was surfing this wave of lava, and then it realised I'm being surfed by Jake, and it became frozen with fear. And this is what we have today. Wave Rock.
Mate,
Amazing.
that is the most factual thing I've heard all day. We're at Wave Rock Caravan Park, and I've had dinner on the day all go.
Are you taking the piss or what?
I'm not.
Oh shit.
I'm fucking up. We're at Wave Rock Caravan Park. I have had
dinner on the go all day long. Come have a look what I did. Got me slow cooker from home. That bad boy. And I've duct taped the lid on and all the bowl in. In there is 1.5 kilos of beef. It's been slow cooking as a red wine casserole all day, and then runs through the power cord to my inverter up in the top there. 1800 watts of pure inversion power, and the charger has just been able to supply enough power to run this all day. So we're going to have this delicious red wine casserole.
Oh, look at this. Let's get a.
Look at that.
Let's get in here.
A gastronomic
Oh, you
delight.
gotta mix. Oh wait, do we want rice with this? Because it'll be a bit.
Ain't nobody got time for rice.
Oh
Yeah, we can do rice. We can do rice.
Cooking
Too easy, right?
Hey, Bo.
And your legs? Yeah, they're gone.
Hey, Bo.
Yeah. What's up, man?
This rice needs something extra.
Yeah, what does it need?
What do you reckon it needs?
Maybe a bit of herbs, maybe.
Bit of time?
Yeah, we can go some.
What are you going to do? Pick it fresh out of the garden?
Yeah, we can pick it fresh out of the garden, or we can get some dried stuff.
Oh,
I
mate.
think I like it fresh.
Bit of fresh thyme in our rice.
Smell that, everyone.
Ooh.
It's a conglomerate.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
Well, well. Looks like yet another has failed to cut the track from Broom Hill to Fly Flat. Looks like me and my 5 men will have to complete the job.
Well, here we are. We're tackling the Holland Track for this trip video. As you can see, we're all dressed in period costume. We've got Taylor, Jake, Bo, and in the background we've also got Sam, Steve and Mark. Steve is driving the Landrover, Mark's driving the 200 series. So it's all period, may not be the correct period, but it's all period. What do you say we hit the tracks?
Let's do it.
Let's go and discover what John Holland discovered in 1893.
To horse!
To horse and cart!
Onwards!
18 diggity 3.
Straight away the track starts off into mud. So many puddles, deepening the further in we go. It's pretty hard to tell whether it's going to be wet when you head out here. When it does rain, it may only be muddy for a few days before the ground soaks it up. There are stretches along the Holland where not a lot happens, so I'll take these opportunities to feed you some history as we go.
The year is 1893, and barely 12 months ago, the discovery of a huge gold find at Fly Flat near Coolgardie was announced. The find has shaken the country, with hopeful prospectors flooding in from the eastern states and faraway lands. Accessing the new find, however, is proving rather difficult, with individuals riding the locomotive from Albany to Northern before tackling an enormous walk towards Coolgardie. The benefits then are obvious for a railway town further south from which a direct track can be cut to the fields. But who to build it? Several have already tried, all turning back due to the sheer lack of water. One poor fellow named McIntosh has seemingly vanished into the dead scrub, leaving only his horse and the remains of his final camp. Fear not, weary travellers. Local legend Mr. John Holland has a plan. To not only find a suitable route, but to cut a suitable track for man, horse, dray, and wheelbarrow. The team shall consist of 4 men, 5 ponies, and a large dray upon which to haul their provisions, and 100 gallons of water.
There you go, ponies and drays it was for them, through this thick, uncharted bushland. Our steeds got us through a lot quicker, though if it came down to a race through uncut bushland, I reckon Holland and his crew would have beat us easy. Mark is reasonably new to four-wheel driving, but he wasn't afraid to put that 200 series anywhere. He at least had the wisdom to walk the bog holes before diving in nose first though. Many people seem to lack that attribute.
Well, let's check the other one.
Can you just test it with your arms?
Yeah. Yeah.
See that big mound behind me there? That is the nest of the Mallee fowl, believe it or not. Now what happens with the Mallee fowl is when it's that time of year where they're going to get naked, hop on the good foot and do the bad thing, they build this big mound here and they burrow out a cavity in the middle, and that's where they put the eggs, and they cover it with leaf litter. And so this mound just gets bigger and bigger every year, and what happens is all the plant matter decomposes, generates heat, and that incubates the eggs. And it's the male that comes along, sticks his beak in there, and he's like, oh yeah, needs a little bit more, puts some more leaf matter on it to heat it up a bit, or scrapes a bit away to cool it down, and keep it just like that.
Alex, come have a look, quick.
Oh,
Found an egg.
oh mate.
Fresh egg. Who wants to try it?
Oh, you cheeky bastard. It's a bush chook.
And it's a boy!
It's a bush chook. Oh, it is. It's frothing. Nice and warm, just the way I like it. Right, just like this can of sport, these birds are quite rare and endangered. So we probably shouldn't shoot and eat the thing. Likewise, if you come across one of these in the wild, or you do the Holland Track and you drive past this, don't go and climb all over the thing. Give them their space. It's still an active nest, believe it or not. Despite all that four-wheel drive traffic coming past here, they still done bury their eggs in that thing. Right? What did you think of the track the moment we hit it?
The moment we hit it, I thought we were in for some fun. It looked pretty gnarly from the get-go, from the hiding side. And yeah, I just left it in high range and didn't even have a problem. I only had to put it in low range once, and as you see in the video, that's when I popped the wheel up.
What can you say about riding the bike? It was your first time in a while, hey?
Yeah, first time since I was about 10 or 11. I haven't wanted to go on a motorbike because I hit a fridge on one. And that just ruined the whole experience for me. But yeah, I hopped on and gave it a go, and I got the hang of it again pretty quick. Obviously it was a bit of a bigger bike than the bike that I was used to, but yeah, I had no dramas once I got the feel for it. Yeah, mud was pretty tricky at first. I had a few times when I slid out and had to sort of hop off the bike or the bike fell over, but once I learned my way around the bike, I figured, you know, which was the best way to hit the mud.
The rate at which the scenery changes along this track is also something you don't see often in this part of Australia, where it can all look quite the same.
It's not somewhere you come for like extreme four-wheel driving, and I don't know, it's not about the drive, it's about being remote. And I mean, some of the bog holes are fun and the bit of the sand's fun, but yeah, the Holland Track is an experience to sort of feel what they cut this track through. What took us 3 days here took them just over 2 months, which is an incredible feat to cut through all that, finding water along the way. When we heard about Steve's punches on the radio,
Yes.
what was your first thoughts when you heard that on the radio?
Well, initially, I only thought he had one spare tyre, so I thought we were on day one. But luckily he had 2 spares on the back, and it just shows how much attention I paid other people's vehicles.
We were proper stuck in the middle of the track with one tyre punctured by a small twig and the other torn to shreds. With the plush air suspension in the Land Rover, Steve couldn't even feel the flat, and in only a few hundred metres, the tyre had torn to shreds.
Yeah, I was trying to beat it.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
You didn't feel it? Then I didn't see
No.
that it was shredded until it fell.
Well, that's probably
At the rate we had been travelling, we may have made our camp after dark at Sandalwood Rocks. But with this holding us up, there was no way we'd get there before midnight. We sent Jake ahead on the bike to scout a camp spot nearby, so that the moment we got this thing out the way, we could all kick back around the fire and have a beer.
We have fire!
I was expecting punches, especially from Steve's tyres. I was expecting a few punches that we might have to plug. What I wasn't expecting was to turn back and find that the entire sidewall had torn out of the tyre. And not only that, but the front one had the same sort of damage, not quite as bad. Taylor managed to plug that later at camp, so we could use it for a spare, and we got it going again. That resulted in slow progress for the first day.
I reckon it was fun. You know, you can't go out and not have that happen. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, it's very testing.
Yeah. And when it does happen, you know, you really get to figure shit out.
Yeah, everyone pulls together and comes up with a solution.
Yeah.
City of Malta Parks and Gardens.
This is how we plant your tree verges.
No one had no idea what to do. Everyone was just kind of standing around with their thumbs up the bums. So I went and got the bottle jack, took control, and another convoy rocked up. And as the bloke that came out, he was, to his credit, he was just trying to help. He was trying to be a nice guy, which I'm thankful for. I'm always thankful for someone trying to help and make the situation easier. If I got a message to anyone out there, if there's someone already in control of the situation and doesn't need your help, feel free to offer your help, but if they say no, stand back and let them do it.
I didn't put any oil on it.
I guess I should add here that a repair plug in the sidewall of a tyre is only good for a track repair to get you out of trouble. This would be our last resort spare, and there is no way you drive on this at speeds over probably 40 k's an hour.
Pump it up and see how it is in the morning. If it loses pressure, then there's not much else we can do.
This might be a little wet. Oh, they're alright.
We have fire!
Jake's got a blue ribbon oil pourer.
Yeah, look, when you can't...
Oh, Jake, I actually have a funnel with me.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's still...
No, but that's ingenious,
That's
that
full
is.
bush mechanic, that.
Jake,
Yeah.
when you finish pouring that oil, look up at the camera and tell us exactly what you're doing right now.
Pour me the oil.
Because this bike is still being run in for its new piston rings, I'm servicing it. Well, I'm supposed to do it every 300-ish, but because it's being run in off-road in a lot of dust, I'm just gonna do it every day. No, just I've already changed the oil from the initial run-in. I've done it again, so it shouldn't need another change for about another 1,000 now.
Oh, man.
Should be alright.
So we can do most of the rest of the trip on this oil.
Yeah.
Sure you're not just pouring it a beer?
Your bike's like, it's been a tough day, give us a bevy.
Yeah, give us a bevy.
As tough as the days would have been out here, I reckon the crew would have thoroughly enjoyed some magic camps, as would have the hundreds of people that followed once the track was finished. Jake had chosen a pretty good one too, but ours was a little more luxurious than the Pioneers would have been. We at least tried to put ourselves in their shoes with what we ate. Spam. Lots and lots of spam.
So, John Holland and the crew obviously didn't have the luxury of fridges and the like. We do, but in the spirit of things, we're going to eat tonight what they would have eaten. Spam. Now, the Spam brand didn't exist until sometime in the 30s, but it's also known as bully beef, and bully beef did exist. So we're having bully beef tonight. We've got turkey there, and traditional Spam. So, crack that canned meat open. Yep, smells like Spam. Then we're going to dice it up and give it a bit of heat. Oh, just like dog meat. Big fat Spam steaks. We're going to have it with pasta. They may have had pasta because that obviously keeps quite dry.
this fire's hot. Spam you can actually eat raw. We're going to cook it up like beautiful steaks. Try and fool ourselves. Over there on the stove I boiled up some pasta. I'm going to barbecue some celery too. And some carrots. Yeah. I've never barbecued celery before, but I've got it. It's pretty bloody hot.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not even going to tell you how to cook Spam because that's just stupid.
Most people don't.
That's just silly. If you need instruction to cook Spam, I'm surprised you're alive.
Well, apparently in Gallipoli, the troops used to throw it at the Turks, and the Turks would throw it back.
Nice.
Here we go.
There we go. So I'm just going to cook that up. I will show you guys the finished product, and we'll come to you with our verdict on how our Spam pasta dish tastes. Smells pretty good.
A thing yet?
I like that.
Oh god!
Oh no!
I'm a mang! That's Spamtastic, mate.
The way Mark cooks a steak, I'm happy enough just to get the bone.
Mate, you get my bone, how's that? I love the little bits of char that are all through it.
I love char.
Now, do you think that each person stirs through a sauce of their choice, barbecue or tomato?
We'll give them what they want.
Alright, I think barbecue's going to go best with this, to be honest.
I think so too.
You can fresh, boy.
Just take that back.
So if you were cutting the Holland Track, you wouldn't be too upset if you had to eat this every
If I
night.
had to eat this every day, I reckon I'd be able to do it.
You'd do it for the 2 months that they did it.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I'd be furious because there's no lamb brains.
Where's me lamb brains? So what do you reckon? If you were cutting the Holland Track for 2 months, would you eat the bully beef every night?
Yeah, well,
It's at this point that you can see Jake cast his very soul back through the years, putting himself through their toils.
Wait, did it take 2 months? 2 months it took him to cut this track. It was hard work.
tell you what, if I was working as hard as they were on this track, cutting all those, you'd pretty much eat anything. You would, if you had food, you'd eat it.
Oh dear, Jakey's had a few too many red cans, I think. Might be time to put him down in the swag under that blanket of stars there. This is what we will be following today. Unfortunately, we have some serious ground to cover. We made it about the third the distance we wanted to cover yesterday. That's a lot of adventuring to come. So much in fact that I'm splitting the video here for Holland Track Part 2. Get excited everyone, and subscribe to the channel so you can catch Part 2 the moment it comes out. In the meantime, why not check out some of our other videos?